What is up, guys? We are back with another 2 minute drill episode Tuesday, August 3rd, man. We appreciate y'all tuning into the Bluebloods, man. So make sure to subscribe now. Give a big thumbs up to this video. We have an exclusive interview with Jaquez Payton. He announced his recent transfer yesterday to Alabama State from Jacksonville State, man. We talk his mental health struggles. We talk his journey to Jacksonville State, to Alabama State, and we talk about all the team goals and his goals going into the 2021 season, man. So make sure to check that out. Give that video a thumbs up. And we also had an interview with Chris Ola Duncan, South Dakota State quarterback, former Sanford and USF quarterback, on Monday. So make sure to go check that out as well. But guys, we're getting into kind of one of the topics that I feel like we might be the only non-sponsored ESPN or whatever, non-sanctioned podcast, as we got told by one of our Jackson State listeners, that we should be sanctioned. We're conducting internal investigation on that, but we're one of the only podcasts kind of covering this, and it's, should the NCAA have a commissioner? And this kind of came about. The NCAA is meeting in November to kind of reform their college football governing body, what they should do with the new NIL, with all the conference realignment. And the NCAA said in a statement they want to reimagine. They put it in quotations for some reason, so I can only imagine that means the worst coming from the NCAA. They want to reimagine how they're going to govern their almost 500,000 student athletes, and they want to make sure they can align authority, responsibilities. And there's a lot of questions about the structure and who can the schools really look up to after the Supreme Court kind of just threw the doors open and allowed all kind of stuff to happen and allowed people to question the NCAA bylaws. And some lawmakers want the schools to come together and create an organizational structure to kind of govern college football. So that's what we're going to be talking about today is, should the NCAA have a commissioner, what that commissioner could do, and what the power structure will mean for the future of college football, and why this is an important topic. So, Brandon, let's kick it off here. What's your opinion on this, and do you think the NCAA should have a commissioner? And if so, why do you think that would help and or hurt college football?
So this is me kind of a weird take coming from me, because anyone who's listened to any of our episodes or really just has ever had a conversation with me about college football knows that I hate the NCAA. Like, this meeting in November means the world to me, because I know it's not going to turn out the way I want it to turn out, but the possibility of the NCAA just kind of being like thrown to the side and something else governing college football is a possibility. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. So my take on this, Zach, and like I said, it's weird, but I do think, like, as of right now, we should definitely have a commissioner. And as long as the NCAA is a body that controls college athletics, and not just football, but I mean baseball, basketball, whatever, soccer is that thing?
Yeah.
Not in the SEC, it's not real. But swimming, equestrian, if you're an Auburn fan, because they're proud of that. But any of this, like, if you're NCAA. If you're in the NCAA, if you're associated in any way, you should be hoping for this too. And the reason behind this is, right now in the NCAA, who has the power, Zach? The commissioner of each conference has their own power, their own governing power over the schools that they, are in their conference. But outside of that, like, nobody really. It's kind of like, and you mentioned it before we started recording, it's like the Wild West out here. So, like, we have all of these things going on right now with NIL, and there's no parameters on it. And, I've been very vocal about how I think that college athletes should be able to be compensated really in any way, especially when it comes to their likeness. Like, you're telling me that, like, for the entire existence of the NCAA, players have been getting in trouble. Reggie Bush lost his Heisman because of his name, image, and likeness. He was making a profit off of it. And they
won't give it back.
Yeah, they won't even discuss, like, reinstating it, because, like, the second anyone brought it up, they're like, nope, that happened in the past while it was illegal. Well, that doesn't make it right that it was illegal. So I think one common commissioner amongst each conference amongst all the conferences would be a great idea. And Zach, my idea for it is you take all of the Power 5, Group of 5 conferences, you get them all together in FBS football, okay? And out of that group, they elect one of those commissioners to be the commissioner of the NCAA. And I'm not saying, like, say Greg Sankey gets voted the president of or the commissioner of the NCAA. That doesn't mean he also runs the SEC. That means somebody else gets voted to be the commissioner of the SEC. I think that if we hold votes to have one overall commissioner from this pool of every commissioner, that benefits everybody. I think it sets up fairness in each conference. I was talking to you beforehand about how some conferences have 8 in-conference games, some conferences have 9. And to be completely honest with you, I don't know about the Group of 5. Like, I have no idea what they do. So, I mean, the Big 12, I almost said Big 10 because they only have 10, because the Big 12 only has 10 teams. But now they're about to have 8. What do? They can't possibly play 9 in-conference games, 8 in-conference games. It's going to be 7 if they play everybody. And that's what they've been doing. They play 9 in-conference games because they only have 10 teams. So I think it would be a good idea to get all of these commissioners together, vote for one common NCAA commissioner, and set some rules. And I've been so against rules, but set some rules. That way, maybe we have some kind of parity in college football, because I think there's an argument to be made that the SEC and ACC have an advantage. Yes, because they're in recruiting hubs. Yes, because they have the money, but also because their commissioners set up a road for them to have a path to the title. So that's my take on it, Zach. I think it's absolutely a great idea to have a commissioner over the NCAA.
Like, I'm for the commissioner idea. You look at, what the NBA's done with, their commissioner and their power structure, and it's worked really well. Like, yes, you can hate Roger Goodell all you want, and I get it. Like, I really do get the hatred, but like, it's the same type of power structure where if you gave so the NCAA right now is like if you had the NFL without Roger Goodell and all the owners were just running wild with different things. And
what would happen immediately? Just the richest owners would be like, oh, now we run this. Kind of like
Jerry Jones.
But kind of like Greg Sankey can just basically just be like, oh, we're going to do this way. And then that's how the NCAA conforms now. Like, and I'm an LSU fan. I'm not an every SEC team fan like some people, but I'm an LSU fan. I like Greg Sankey enough, but he does do that. Like, he kind of controls what other conferences do. And if they don't conform to that, what happens, Zach? They kind of fall off and they run into irrelevance.
I mean, and I get that. And the biggest thing for me is I don't want the NCAA to be able to nominate this person, because Mark Emmert, being the president of the NCAA, has done a horrible job, not conforming, but kind of staying on the forefront of progress. He is stuck in like 1970 and he won't budge. And he went to Supreme Court to try to keep players from being paid. And then he fought it to the last second. And when the clock hit midnight, he just said, I don't know what to do. Just unleash everything. And that's where we are now in college football is, yes, it's great players are making money, doing all this stuff, but what happens? Where does a university turn if they have questions?
Right.
Who do you call? You can call the conference, but who do they call if they don't? I mean, there's no like tiered structure in the NCAA in college football at all. And I think the NCAA listen. If you believe on this podcast that you can fix the fundamental, deep-seated problems with the NCAA, then yes, we can vote them in. But I don't think you can, Brandon. I have 2 options for me. One, it's like kind of what you said, where the commissioners come together, you vote one to the top, you replace him, and I think you also could just put the commissioners all in a group and have like a committee approach to it where we vote for different things. But I still think you're going to have the same problem you have now where Greg Sankey and the Big Ten commissioner, I'm blanking on his name right now, and I don't know why I'm blanking on his name because I have a hashtag fire him because he's
7-1.
Yeah. Warren, I cannot stand him, but he would be at the forefront. And if you need an example of why this needs to happen, the COVID season should be all the example you need about how the NCAA has no power, and we need a figure to kind of organize everything. Because with COVID, the Big Ten's over here saying if you get COVID, you miss 3 weeks. We're canceling the season. We're going to move it to the spring. Now we're going to play in October. The Pac-12 still don't know what they're doing today. I mean, playing 4 games in a season, bro. Give me a break. Then you got teams at the FCS level just not playing. And it's just, there's no control. There's no voice of reason. And that's where I think a commissioner would come in. If we had a commissioner this past year, we could have all been unified and everyone would have started playing on the same weekend. Everyone would have had the same testing protocols. Like, we could have organized the efforts of college football better. And going into this season, I think you're going to have a lot of what ifs, and I think you're going to have a lot of confusion. And as this NIL thing grows, Brandon, because people forget we're only like 2 months into this, and we have players making millions of dollars. We had a high school player in Quinn Ewers skip his senior year of high school to come make money, and everyone's just like, yeah, that's great. And, you know, we had a whole episode that was pretty much hashtag go get the money for Quinn Ewers. Shout out to you for making the right decision today. But where's the guidance from anybody who's above the Big Ten on this? There's not one. And so we need a face of the NCAA. We need a commissioner of the NCAA. We need a commissioner of college football. And eventually, I think we're going to have to get away from the NCAA because, Brandon, really and truly, I don't think they have the best interest of the sport in mind.
Yeah, I think you're right. And you know, we have this take that there should be a commissioner. We're going to get a lot of pushback on this. And I'll tell you what the number one thing is going to be, Zach, because I've already heard it. We are making an NFL junior out of the NCAA. And that's what people are saying. People have been saying that all the time.
That's what this is.
Exactly. That's exactly what this is. And if it's about not wanting to have professional football at this level, we're a little bit past that, aren't we? Because now we have a transfer portal. Now players are being compensated. Why not go ahead and go all in and make it better as a whole? I mean, the commissioner does nothing but make this better.
I mean, the NBA had. I mean, what is college football if it's not NFL? I've always compared the college football to an internship for like normal people. It's you're auditioning. It's you bettering yourself to get to like your dream job. It's like you have to go through college football to get there. And what they can do if they do this, Brandon, is head off. You know, college football doesn't have the problem, but the NBA has headed off the NCAA by making the G League a thing.
Right.
Now, if we can put a commissioner in charge, football won't have to worry about players leaving for the new XFL coming. They won't have to worry about leaving for the CFL or any of these semi-professional leagues. What's going to happen is college football is going to become that semi-professional, track, and they're getting paid. And what's going to happen is more players are going to come through college. We're going to get better college football, and we're not going to run into what college basketball is facing, where you're losing the top recruits in the country to the G League. Brandon, let me ask you something. Did you watch Jalen Green play at all?
Hell no.
This past year. You want to know why? Because G League games aren't on TV.
Right.
And he was the number 3 player drafted this year. He was the number 2 recruit in the country, and no one even knew he played basketball last year. That's what happened with college basketball, and I don't want to see that happening with college football. So for me, you're not looking at the big picture of college football and looking at the health of college football if you argue against having a commissioner. Because, one, you're either putting way too much faith in the NCAA, which has proved you time and time again that you should not put faith in them. 2, you're not looking at the big picture, and you would rather these semi-professional leagues take away from college football, which – therefore, good luck rooting for the LA Wildcats or whatever the hell the XFL team was. No one cares about that. And 3, let's be honest, bro. College football is one of the greatest sports out there. It's not going to become the NFL because there's the tradition. There's the fans. There's the bands. There's college football can't become the NFL because there's too many things that separates it from the NFL. The stadiums are bigger. The fans are louder. The bands are there. The atmosphere is different. The campuses are there. You're an alumni of that school. It's not going to become the NFL. What it's going to do is position college football to be that gateway to the NFL that it already is and head off any future things. We've already done it with NIL. The commissioner is just the next thing to improve college football, because once we get a commissioner in charge, all these ideas can filter up through him, and we can make sure only the best ideas reach the table and reach the end goal, which is improving college football.
Absolutely, Zach. I think you're 1,000,000% right.
Damn, I'm saying,
but he's right here.
I mean, and listen, y'all comment below what y'all think. I know this was kind of, an off-the-wall topic, and not a lot of people have been paying attention to this. And this is one of those topics that might not get a lot of views and might not get a lot of, clickbaity clicks. But I promise you, if you watch this episode, you're more educated on what's happening behind the scenes at the NCAA and for college football. So comment below your opinion. Do you think there should be a commissioner of college football? If so, how would you like to see it structured? And is there a candidate that you see? Brandon threw out Greg Sankey. You guys let us know what you think. But guys, make sure to subscribe now, man. We are on the road to 700 right now. Hashtag road to 1K for the future, man. We want to hit 1K as the season comes on, man. So make sure to subscribe. Turn your post notifications on. Over 80% of y'all that have watched our videos in the past month are not subscribed. So make sure to subscribe now. We will hit that 1K, unlock that community feature, and that way we can interact with y'all directly on YouTube. And that is the goal here. I don't care about the monetization. I'll just put that back in like some fun for y'all. Like, I don't care. We'll honestly probably use some monetization to get y'all some merch. But guys, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure to check out all our interviews from, the past few weeks. I think we've dropped, Brandon, for Monday to Friday, I think we've had like 12 straight days of interviews on YouTube. So make sure to go support those players. We have more coming. Tomorrow we have Will Cholo, defensive tackle from Troy, coming on, man. So make sure to check that out. Huge player. Will probably be playing for your favorite NFL team very soon on the defensive line. And make sure to go check out all our other interviews. But for B-Dub, myself, and the Blue Bloods guys, we'll be back tomorrow. But for right now, we are out.